Welcome to MogulCast, where we uncover the stories behind the world's greatest business empires. Let's get into today's story.
On June 13, 2022, millions of Celsius network users opened their phones to a message that would change their lives forever. Every transfer, every withdrawal, frozen indefinitely. No warning, no recourse. Over $2 billion in customer funds vanished. The man behind it, Alex Mashinsky, had promised yields of up to 18%. He delivered prison instead. This is the full story. And it is worse than you think. Alex Mashinsky was not a newcomer to the technology world. He had founded multiple ventures and positioned himself as a visionary entrepreneur who understood the internet before most people did. When he launched Celsius Network, he presented himself as a man of the people. His pitch was radical and simple. Banks were taking your money, earning massive returns, and giving you almost nothing. Celsius would change that. We will come back to one specific decision. It is the key to everything. Celsius Network was headquartered in Hoboken, New Jersey, but maintained offices in 4 countries and operated globally. The concept was straightforward. Users could deposit cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum into a Celsius wallet and earn a percentage yield. Borrowers could take out loans by pledging their crypto as security. Mashinsky framed it as financial freedom for the unbanked. He appeared in countless interviews, YouTube videos, and amas, building a cult-like following that trusted him with their life savings. By May 2022, Celsius had lent out $8 billion to clients and held almost $12 billion in assets under management. The company claimed it returned up to 80% of its revenue to users through interest payments. Mashinsky promised yields of up to 18% on certain deposits. In a world where traditional banks offered less than 1%, this was irresistible. Hundreds of thousands of users poured their crypto into Celsius. They believed they were part of a financial revolution. But not everyone was celebrating. Behind the polished marketing and the charismatic live streams, cracks were forming. Celsius generated revenue from token sales, lending, Bitcoin mining, and discretionary trading of cryptocurrencies. That last word is critical: discretionary trading. Celsius was not just lending deposits out safely. It was making risky bets with customer funds. And when those bets went wrong, there was no safety net. The company did not charge fees to users, which meant it had no buffer when revenue from trading dried up. But not everyone was celebrating. The model seemed to work because crypto prices kept rising. Celsius paid interest in cryptocurrencies, including its own CL token. That created a powerful incentive loop. Users deposited, earned CEL tokens, and the token price rose, making yields appear even higher. But here's what the media completely got wrong about this. Celsius was not simply a lending platform that got caught in a downturn. It was structurally dependent on ever-increasing crypto prices to sustain payouts it could not otherwise afford. On July 7, 2022, former investment manager Jason Stone filed a lawsuit against Celsius, alleging the company ran a Ponzi scheme. The accusation was devastating. Stone claimed that when Celsius could no longer generate returns through lending, it used new customer deposits to pay existing customers their promised yields. Arkham Intelligence estimated a loss of $350 due to improper trading practices. The yield was never real. It was built on a foundation that could only hold while new money kept arriving. The collapse was staggeringly fast. In June 2022, Celsius announced it was pausing all transfers and withdrawals due to extreme market conditions. The announcement triggered steep declines in the price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Users who had trusted Mashinsky with their savings watched helplessly as their funds were locked behind a corporate wall. Some had deposited their entire retirement savings. Others had mortgaged homes to buy crypto and deposit it with Celsius. The human cost was immediate and brutal. On July 13, 2022, just 1 month after freezing withdrawals, Celsius filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The filing revealed the full scope of the disaster. The company had a massive hole in its balance sheet. Customer funds were gone. Mashinsky resigned as CEO in September 2022. He was later arrested and charged with fraud. The man who had positioned himself as a champion of the people was now facing the possibility of decades in federal prison. The revolution was over. Bankruptcy process dragged on for over a year and a half. Creditors fought over what remained. On January 31, 2024, Celsius finally exited bankruptcy through a restructuring plan that distributed assets, including a newly created Bitcoin mining company, to creditors. The mobile and web apps were shut down on February 29, 2024. And if you have made it this far, you already understand something most analysts completely missed. The Celsius collapse permanently altered the cryptocurrency landscape. It proved that unregulated yield platforms could operate with zero transparency and zero accountability. It accelerated regulatory action against crypto lending products across the United States and beyond. The industry could no longer pretend that promises of double-digit returns were sustainable without massive hidden risk. Celsius became the cautionary tale that every crypto investor now references when evaluating whether a platform can be trusted. For the hundreds of thousands of users who lost money, the restructuring plan did not make them whole. Many received only a fraction of what they deposited. Some lost everything. The emotional toll was immense. People who had trusted Mashinsky's repeated assurances that their funds were safe found themselves financially devastated. The Celsius community, once fiercely loyal, became a fractured group of creditors fighting for scraps in bankruptcy court. Remember that decision we mentioned at the start? Here is what it actually cost. Mashinsky's decision to use customer funds for discretionary trading rather than safe lending was not a minor operational choice. It was the decision that destroyed Celsius. When the market turned, those trades became losses with no recovery path. That single strategic choice turned a legitimate lending platform into a vehicle that consumed its customers' savings. The $2 billion gap was not caused by a market crash alone. It was caused by a man who believed he could outsmart the market with other people's money. Almost $12 billion in assets under management at peak. $8 billion lent to clients. Up to 18% yield promised to depositors. $2 shortfall in customer funds. $350 million lost to improper trading per Arkham Intelligence estimates. Offices in 4 countries. 0 fees charged to users. 1 founder arrested. 1 company destroyed. 1 community devastated. The Celsius story reveals something most people still do not understand about financial fraud. It does not require complex deception. Mashinsky did not hide behind anonymous accounts or complicated shell companies. He appeared on camera weekly. He answered questions publicly. He built a brand on transparency. And that transparency was the most powerful weapon he had. Because when a charismatic founder says your money is safe while he is losing it on risky trades, you believe the man, not the math. If you want to understand how this pattern repeats across every major business collapse, the next video covers a story with disturbing parallels. That one is next.
That's the story for today on MogulCast. If you found this valuable, subscribe and hit the bell. A new Empire story drops every single weekday. See you tomorrow.